This might be one of the most important issues. In fact, they're all issues. They're all important, but tonight in particular, tonight is going to be a very layered, a very concatenated group. Erica's throwing her weight around. People are going crazy. Candace had probably the best show she's ever had, and it sort of mirrored what I was suggesting to you about how some people are acting weird. People that I thought years ago were kind of on our side, but now they don't seem to be. So if ever you've listened to the show, listen to this now. But first, this important message. Everybody's talking about AI, a smarter future, a faster future, everything connected, everything in the cloud. Well, what happens? What happens when it breaks? What happens when the system holding your money gets hacked or artificial intelligence becomes sophisticated enough to identify patterns and exploit weaknesses and target the accounts you trusted with your financial future? Think about it. How much of what you own exists only as numbers on a screen? That's why so many Americans are choosing something real, physical gold, physical silver, assets you can actually hold. Click the special link below to learn how Noble Gold can deliver precious metals to your door or place them in a tax-advantaged retirement account. And to celebrate America's 250th birthday, viewers who use my link and open a new qualified account will receive a free 10-ounce silver bar. In an increasingly digital world, own something real. Protect what you've earned. Click the special link below now. I love when a story has a lot of layers to it, and I love them. And this one tonight in particular is since this morning has changed. It changes day to day. I'm going to tell you something, and I don't want to sound at all vainglorious. I don't want to sound like I'm being, I'm the greatest. No. But I see what's happening, and I see what's happening better than a lot of people. And the reason why I see things better than a lot of people is, well, let me see if I can explain this. As I'm always telling you, there are different storylines. There's the whodunit part. This is who actually is responsible for the death of Charlie. The trial of Tyler Robinson. TPUSA, Erika, Candace, that kind of a mix. And there's all of this. This is the most important. And one of the things that I want people to understand and to grasp is very, very simply this. She said something today which was so important, and I don't think people can understand it. Everybody first wants to use any excuse to shut down your speech. We're going to do more about this tomorrow morning. We're going to talk about this arrogant thing too, but this kind of came up. This can be like a two-part thing, okay? And please follow this and do me a favor. And I mean this, and I won't at all be upset or offended. If you ever find that my delivery, my subject matter, my jumping around, because there's 1,000 different issues all coming together. It's not, let's start with this, and then we're going to go to this. And now let's talk about Erika. It doesn't work like that. I don't work like that. I'm honored to have you. But if ever you feel like I need to go for something that's a little slower or more pictures, or I understand completely. It's not for everybody. And I mean it, and I recognize this. But if you really want to get deep into this stuff, I'm the guy for you. If you really want to look beyond all this, beyond Charlie, beyond Candace, beyond everything, it's not about this. You're being set up. And she brought up something about Alex. I'm going to be talking about that tomorrow, and I'm going to try my best to put this in. So I'm just warning you. Look at this. Carmen. Oh, look at this. Cami says, Lionel, you are perfect. I listen, I know sometimes, and I thank you. It's tough sometimes. I know it. It is tough. And sometimes people say, you can't be all over the place. All over the place. There's 1,000 different issues here. They're all going on at the same time. These issues, do you know how complicated this is? Seriously, I can't believe what I'm even seeing. I've never seen anything like this. So let me just start. First, it is not enough for them to stop Candace. They want to stop you. They want to stop us. They want to stop free speech. They want to use anything that comes along, anything, and use it to stop, to thwart, to destroy free speech. I promise you. During COVID mania, if you would have told me that people would be deplatformed because they wanted to give you their thoughts on the way they thought a virus should be handled, I thought there's no way. There's no way in our country. This is health talk. This is health talk. There are people who in this country say stuff about, well, little background. I think one of the things which I have been studying and probably am so focused on is hyperlipidemia, heart attack, cardiac incidents through lipid maintenance, LDLs, chemicals like Repatha, lowering LDL levels to that of almost like infant. You know, when you're born, your LDLs, I mean, you don't have a zero, but I mean rock bottom. I mean levels so low, nobody has ever even seen it or heard of it. Okay, this is serious because this is the only chance that we have of stopping America's number one killer. The number one killer that we have is heart disease. That's it. Not anything else. Heart disease. And I don't want to go into detail. So when I hear people say things like, butter is good, lard is good, beef tallow is good, I want to scream and say, you're going to kill yourself. This is a joke. LPA levels are through their LP little a, lipoprotein A levels. Again, but I stop. But you know what I say to myself? It's your opinion. Knock yourself out. You want to do that? Knock yourself out. If somebody listens to you and has some predisposition to hyperlipidemia, and they listen to this beef tallow and paleo bullshit and eat raw meat, you can kill somebody. You can kill them. But I don't want anybody to stop your speech. Period. When I hear people say, alternative medicine, I've got cancer, and I'm going to take fruit juices and enemas, that's going to kill you. But you should be allowed to say this. Our friend says, free speech is critical as food and water. Yes, it is. But even the bad stuff. Now, that's number one. Put that over there. So in my world, and let me see if I can make this very clear, because sometimes people will say, what are you talking about now? I'm talking about free speech. You, in my world, should be able to say anything. The only thing I might want to list, the only thing is that, number one, there might be some language considerations. There might be a little ratings, like if kids, I understand that. You can't say anything you want. You can't walk into a restaurant and wear whatever you want, say whatever you want, have any volume. We have to comply and comport with society. That's fine. Okay. What they're going to do is they're going to try to juxtapose Alex Jones with Candace. They're going to Sandy Hook. They're going to Alex Jones Candace, Alex Jones is a verb. A friend of mine says, your insight is priceless. We appreciate your knowledge and experience. Thank you. That means a lot to me. My experience is something because I've seen this before, and some things never change. There's always been a form of somebody wanting to shut you down. Let me jump to this subject and then jump back. So follow me. I hope you can catch on. I mean, to me, it's very easy, but sometimes I'll say something and I will think of it as I speak. I'll say, wait a minute. Give you two examples. Sometimes these people come along and I say, I kind of like them. I say, pretty interesting. I don't really care. I don't follow them. I'm not an acolyte, regarding these folks. They can say whatever they want. That's fine. But they'll come along. And two of them were one of them I told you was this fellow named Viva Frey. He's got the Bustamante hair. He's got he in Barnes okay. And I heard him. I was like, that's interesting. But he seemed like kind of a hipster. He's got the hair. Anybody who's got the hair like Haku or Ming, the Tongan wrestler, it's got to be okay in my book. It's got to be okay. So when people that I see that I knew all of a sudden are stepping over each other to try to limit speech, I'm wondering what is happening here. What should happen? My friend Max said, you should be free to say you hate someone. Words don't hurt, actions do. Love you, Lionel. We need your voice. I appreciate that immensely. Somebody remind me to talk about hate speech in a moment. Absolutely. Very good. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say Viva is a nut or no. That's too simple. But all of a sudden, he wants to tell me and tell others that maybe Candace, of course, you could have differences of opinion regarding the Tyler case. Of course, you might not believe the particular narrative of the prosecution. But, and then there's this but part. Yeah, but what? And what she said, and I agree with, they're starting to conflate and merge what she's saying into an ultimate kind of they're going to Alex Jones her. They're going to Sandy Hook her. Mark my words, the next phase of the pursuit of Candace Owens will not be another debate, another interview, or another attempt to rebut her arguments. It will be an effort to shut her down a la Alex Jones. Today I was talking. I made it funny. I made myself laugh. I was talking about a Muslim thing. I was telling a friend, I said, it's like, for example, I would look at things, Allah God. And a Muslim would look at Allah. I thought that was funny. Anyway, Alex Jones is no longer a person. He has become a verb. To Alex Jones someone is to seek not merely to defeat that person's ideas, but to isolate and financially cripple and ultimately remove that voice from the public square. And you will use what they've said as the worst thing. That, okay, compensated, but $1 billion? And who do you think? Who was the person who spoke out the loudest? Charlie Kirk. The irony should floor you. I want you to watch carefully because the focus is now less about whether Candace is right or wrong, and more about portraying her as uniquely dangerous and irresponsible or beyond the pale. And once that narrative is accepted, then extraordinary measures will become easier to justify. And the conversation is going to shift from answering speech to eliminating the speaker. I'm telling you, she's right 100%. And equally striking is the role played by individuals who once celebrated skepticism, who once championed like unpopular causes, who questioned official narratives, proudly, proudly embraced the label of conspiracy theorist when it suited their purposes. I mentioned you before, this Robbie Starbuck. I always thought he was great. And this is not, he's entitled to his opinion. I'm shocked. I would love anybody who wants to talk about the case, please. I'm here. This I know. Now, by the way, that's not some phoebe in his bedroom with 30 listeners. I'm sorry. I do have standards. But other than that, I'd love to. I'd love to. This I know intimately. I know this trial business better than anybody. It's like listening to somebody explain why Spain really kicked the shit out of Argentina. I don't know that, but I listen to them because they know this. This is what they do. That's what I do. You know, so why all of a sudden are these people, you know, Viva and others, and people who will say, wait a minute, what happened to you? Others are, you know, hacks. But all of a sudden, Candace is so dangerous, so dangerous. Why the sudden transformation? Now, some people might believe there's financial incentives. We always heard about this $7,000 a tweet thing. I don't know if this is true. $7,000 an hour or a day or what? I don't even know. That could be mythical. We always hear about this. Somebody put a graphic up of all the tweets that Laura Loomer, if she's not paid by the tweet, I don't know who is. She had like 5, 6 on one day. Shit, I could do 20 a day. Nobody's paying me. Anyway, so it might be financial. Maybe it's, and this is what I think, and work with me on this. It's simple tribalism. It's the desire to be on what they perceive as the winning side of an online movement. Then it might be maybe reputation management. You know, maybe where distancing yourself from controversial figures becomes more valuable, you know, than intellectual consistency. Oh, no, not me. I'm too smart for this stuff. I don't know. And whatever the explanation, the result is the same. So file this away, my friends. Remember it when the rhetoric escalates from criticism, which is what we're having right now, to demands for deplatforming and financial pressure and lawsuits. See, they're not going to be done. They want her scalp on the wall. They want her. They hate her. And I will never understand why. So help me God. They never, ever, ever, ever will explain why. My friend Insight says, tuning into the great lion. Thank you for this. You are entitled. There are some people who I think have said some stuff that I think is just batshit crazy. It's dumb. There's no evidence of it at all. Go ahead and say it. Do you know what you have if you don't like what I say? Turn it off. If anybody knows it, oh my God, YouTube will tell you how many people turned you off, how many my numbers dropped. They tell you to the second. You want to know how many men with, let's see, how many women over 65, how many men under 65, how many women with mustaches named Gonzalez on the West Coast? Oh my God, we know every demographic there is. It's the greatest thing in the world. If you don't like it, don't watch. Sometimes, and you know, I love my brother Barron in this. We're like in the foxhole. He's been the General Patton of this. And sometimes people say, excuse me, Barron already talked about this. Oh, pardon me. It's like, okay. We're getting like, I'm finding out who's on my side. Come on. This was the 9/11 group. I've been through this with forever. Geoengineering group. Believe it or not, I was like the only one. And 9/11, you don't know. You have no idea. When I was in New York City and these people wanted to go out and they said, we're going to get those Arabs. They did this. I'm saying, what? Well, And then before me, Mark Lane and Dorothy Kilgallen, they probably, Dorothy Kilgallen, they probably killed her because she was about to blow the story about Marilyn Monroe. And these people, I mean, the Kennedys, these people are ruthless. They're like the Mexican cartel. So I've seen this before. But what they're going to do is they're going to go after Candace. And she called it. And it's so good to call a shot, tell people what they're going to do before they do it, so that when it does happen, it's something that is important. And I want to bring something about Alex Jones. First and foremost, there have been people who have been pioneers, absolute pioneers in this thing that we do. Absolutely pioneers. They came before us. There were the comedians who kind of did what we're doing. Lenny Bruce and Bill Hicks to an extent, and George Carlin and Dick Gregory and Mort Saul. I've got a poster here, I think I showed you this, where I opened Mort Saul, Dick Gregory, and Robert Klein at the Performing Arts, whatever, in Jersey. I mean, it was these, and when you see them now, it's like, well, they're kind of rather tame. At their time, Mort Saul went after the Kennedys, and they ruined him. I mean, he shut down. They destroyed his career. This is how serious. Now, some of these people are so serious, nothing gets in their way. Nothing gets in their way. They will stop at nothing to say what it is that they believe in. And Alex Jones was it. Alex Jones he is to date, the only person who, and now I'm all over the place, because in the old days, we just had radio here, maybe the internet, and that was it. We didn't have this. I have a multiplicity. I don't know about you, but I sample stuff all day to the point where, anyway, but much like the way I think, I sample. I'm an amuse-bouche, a veritable mélange, a pastiche, a mosaic, a myriad, a cornucopia of little assortments. And Alex is the only show I've listened to from the beginning to the end. Never heard Rush Limbaugh, never heard Howard Stern, never heard my friend Anthony Cumia. Love him. Never heard his show. Didn't know who was who. Never even knew Anthony's voice. I never listened to that. Wasn't my style. It's not my style. Not wrong. It's just not my style. Stuff on radio, not my style. They don't cover anything I want to talk about. Nothing. It's just the way it is. But Alex Jones, oh my God. There is nobody like him. And sometimes sometimes he may be kind of crazy. Sometimes he may be kind of nuts and all this stuff. But you know what? I like him. And I like his style. Now, here's the thing which is the most important. What exactly did he do? What is this Sandy Hook thing? What is it? How do you figure this out? I'll talk more about it probably tomorrow, but I got to fill you in on this because this is critical to what's going on. The Alex Jones case can be viewed as something, larger than compensation. When civil judgments approach $1.5 billion, billion, $1.5 billion, they bankrupt the speaker, they dismantle this company, and they place his broadcasting platform beyond his control. The effect is unmistakable. You know it, and I know it. The defendant is not merely required to compensate the plaintiffs. He is being financially annihilated, decimated, and in effect, silenced. And everybody knows it. And the message extends beyond him. But to every broadcaster, every dissident, every independent investigator, pursue certain suspicions recklessly enough, and the system may erase you, eliminate you, ablate, expurgate, Baudelairize, emend, not amend, ablate, amputate. Alex Jones had a First Amendment right, and still does, to question everything, every official account, to entertain unconventional theories, to express suspicions, and even make statements that ultimately prove false. And the Supreme Court has recognized that falsity alone, being wrong, does not automatically remove speech from the protections and the aegis and the Kevlar of the Constitution. And without any kind of breathing room for error or exaggeration or mistaken conclusions, protected speech doesn't mean anything. It's chilled. And that principle matters because journalists and commentators, what we kind of do here, we will investigate events before every fact is known. It happens. A free society can't require government permission. Can I have approbation? Can I talk about this? Before somebody asks whether an official narrative is complete, you can't do this. And the legal boundary is what's important about this. And like I said, we'll talk more about this tomorrow. But I want to tell you, if somebody was indeed compensated, please go ahead and compensate them accordingly. But do not shut somebody's speech down. That's it. Our good friend Paul says, you're not all over the place. You're academic. That's why I love you about you. I'm so glad. Because I know people say that. It's the way I am. And Vassie, our good friend, says, Lion, Candace is in the house. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Wait a minute. What do you mean? Here? She's watching? Uh-oh. Okay. Let me know. Let me know. But I want to continue what's going on. There she is. Oh, my God. Where can I get a Lionel Nation mug? Need that while I can afford it before I'm sued into bankruptcy. Oh, God. You've got one coming. I'm going to talk to our man, Skylar. Look at this. Thank you. Let me go on with what's going on right now. This is the most critical. And I did not know you were going to do this. And I didn't know where you jumped in, but I'm going to say this right now. What you said today was the most important. It was absolutely the most important. And I've been doing this for a long, long time. And I thank you. I don't know why people don't want you to speak. I don't know what it is. Sometimes you must. I always think about your husband and say, Georgia, is there something wrong with me? What do you mean? I've seen with an ascot and a lot of tweed. And he probably has those jackets with the patches, with a meerschaum. Yes, Lave, he's Thurston Howell. I just imagine that. Is there something wrong with me? Why do I inspire hate? I mean, I say something. This one says, oh, okay. What about you? Oh, okay. Megan Kelly. And by the way, you know what? Candace, please don't take this the wrong way, but hand farts for you. They know what this means. It's nothing personal. That's the highest accolade. I says, have you ever considered a video call-in style show like The Other Side of Midnight to allow your viewers a voice? The entertainment value would be off the charts. Oh, yes, I have. Oh, yes, I have. I'd love for the technology to do so. But there's something about her. Now, let me go through this whole thing. First, she's popular. I know this sounds corny. When you're popular, you're hated. You're hated. You're hated. You're low. You're despised. What? You're popular. You're hated because you just are. It's one of those things. And I don't know. And I can't put it into words. Why would you hate me? Number two, there are some people who love to be offended. That's disgusting. Do you think that's funny? Yes, I do. Do you think hand farts are funny? Yes, I do. Oh, well, I don't. Okay, fine. You know what? Blow it out your ass. I don't care. It's me. I think it's funny. You know that woman, whenever I hear about lettuce and diarrhea I'm sorry. It kills me. Have you seen the guy who's a woman who menstruates through his colon? All right, I'll leave it at that. All right, I'll leave it at that. It's like, thank you, God. You've got a sense of humor, just for you. The other thing that people love to do is sometimes they love to break away. I mentioned this guy, what's his name, Posner, who wrote Case Closed. Well, everybody is saying that JFK actually killed somebody, or excuse me, was killed, what am I saying, by Lee Harvey Oswald, or by others rather, not him. Posner says, no, it was a lone gunman. The only guy, and consequently, he's hired, or they bought his book because they say, what kind of a nut thinks that that Lee Harvey Oswald acted alone. Well, Posner does. Some people want to do it like that. I mentioned this guy Frey. He's got the Bustamante hair. I thought for sure he'd be one of us. He was pretty good from what I've seen. Then all of a sudden he's like, he's offended. Oh, I don't know. Sometimes these Candace stories. Excuse me. Where have you been? I've heard him talk about the Kennedy assassination. What about that? Well, next thing you know, we do have the Warren Commission, my friend. And I don't know where you get off questioning that. Somebody could hear this. Somebody could hear this and take it the wrong way. Here's another one for you. In the case of Alex said either, and please, I'm not an expert in this, either he thought Sandy Hook was BS or I don't know. Excuse me. I've got a friend of mine who every day sends me something. He doesn't think we landed on the moon. I never really gave him much thought. I say, you knock yourself out. I know people who laughed at the Vietnam War and said the Gulf of Tonkin was a joke and the Gulf of Tonkin resolution was a pretext to war. We found out later on with the NSA findings, cables, that they were true. I know people who say that the official Warren Commission report is BS. I'm trying to clean it up because Candace is here and she's Catholic. You didn't go to Catholic school when I went. Don't forget my favorite Pope, Pope Hilarious. That's all I want to tell you. Anyway, history invariably is saying something didn't happen. Remember what Tolstoy said, history would be a wonderful thing if only it were true. History would be a wonderful thing if only it were true. By its very nature, talk to somebody. Marriage counselors will tell you, a husband and wife, they're talking about their stories. You go, what are you talking about? What house do you live in? Have you ever had a sibling of yours, somebody who grew up with you, who says, when I was a kid, I said, excuse me, what house did you live in? I don't remember this at all. My mother, bless her heart, would remember sometimes not what happened, but she would remember what she said and would repeat what she said. Look, all I know is this. History and doing what we do is to say that's not true. That's what we do. Now let's start up from the beginning. I'm doing this, all right? Tyler Robinson case. This I know. I'll go head to head with anybody on that. The other stuff, I can't keep track of. Blake the Snake Neff and this Carrot Top. And, they're like these weird character extras in this weird movie. They're like, what do they do? Bustamante, fake crying as fabulous. I did not see that. I'm sorry, I perhaps should get into that. I think he also cut his hair. I didn't even recognize him. It's like, why in the name of God, would you ever, I guess, put yourself in the position of being, of taking the thing. It's like when Tucker lost his bow tie, I think that was a Roger Ailes thing. It's when the Lone Ranger had to wear sunglasses. Oh man, Clayton Moore. Anyway, I veer. We dispute things. It's what we do. You can't be a contrarian. I made my bones during the OJ case. I was called, we didn't say anti-Semitic, I was a racist, of course. I was a racist, especially when I used to tell black callers he didn't want to have anything to do with you. His manager was white, everybody was white, his wife was white, he wanted to go play golf with white people. You were the last people. He didn't want to have anything to do with you. I'm more black. Anyway, baby, you're a racist. Okay, fine. And you only take flack when you're over the target. When you're flying along and all of a sudden you start feeling this, and go, oh, there they are. We're over the target. And we're going to either get killed or we're going to make it through. This is a part of it. This is the game. This is everything. This is people during Watergate would say, Nixon was set up. I think it was a palace coup. I don't think Mark Felt was I think it was Alexander Haig. Anyway, we argued about that. We argue about everything. We argue about how things, Sirhan, this guy, according to that 22 he had, shot about 30 rounds. And the shot that got, the one that did it the most, that actually did it with the stippling and the close contact was behind his ear. Sirhan was across the room. It was Thane Eugene Caesar. That's the guy, the security guard. He was the one. And even Bobby Kennedy, who's so busy picking up snakes and doing pull-ups, he's like mildly interested in solving his father's murder, which is another thing with the Kennedys. Don't get me started with that. But what Candace is doing is she's saying like me. And here is the way it works. It's very, very simple. On September the 10th, here's Charlie. He's sitting there and all of a sudden you hear that a terrible event. So this, he went like that, and that was it. Then we all said, wow. And nobody said, Israel. Maybe somebody did. I don't think so. Or Erika. I didn't know who Erika was. I didn't know anything. Like maybe you did. TPUS, I used to get confused. I hate to say it was CPAC. I thought they were connected. No, all these abbreviated. I said, oh, another one of these. I didn't know. Charlie, I liked a lot. Because Charlie would bust balls literally to women with balls and hand them to him. And he'd say, thank you, Charlie. He would eviscerate you and you'd thank him. You would, thank you, Charlie. I appreciate that. No, thank you. Did he just abuse me? Yes, he did. Terribly. You were emasculated. You were orchidectomized. You are anarchist. Okay? Sans huevos. Now, when it happened and we get into this, I said, who's that guy? That's Tyler Robinson. That's the guy? That's the guy. Okay. Maybe he did it. Then we're saying, well, not so fast. And here I am, Mr. Prosecutor, I kind of know a little bit. How did Tyler shoot? He shot him, yeah? Now, when they start off with that, you know something. Well, wait a minute. You're saying he's a sniper, right? Well, don't give me this business. What did he or did he shoot? Well, he's doing it again. He brought a rifle. I think he brought a rifle. I think it was his grandfather's rifle. I think it was Grandpappy's shooting iron. I think it was. I think. And it has a if you believe this, it has a scope on it that gets in the way of the safety being deactivated so you can shoot it. Did he shoot it or not? Well, we think so. What do you mean you think so? It's kind of like with Lee Harvey Oswald, kind of, sort of. It's like, well, did he fire the man that Kirk Connell? Well, it turns out it was moot because that's why he should have been 86th, but somehow he slipped through the cracks. But we'll get to that in a moment. They have dogs that can smell a fish fart. And if that rifle fired anything, they'd find it. Guess what the dogs did? Nada. So, did Tyler fire the guy? Well, okay, you're with a well. Did they do a GSR, gunshot residue on him or anything? What's with this look? What did he do? Well, he was on the roof. Are you sure? I sure am. I've got video. I got Posobiec. Posobiec looks like he has, you know what an egesta is? It's a hairball. It's like this. No, egestas actually is. It's fecal matter. It's a bezoar. He has a hairball, like he's trying to pass this hockey puck, like he's in dyspepsia, like he's in some gastric distress, like his goldfish just died. You ever see this guy smile? He's always, hello, I'm Jack Posobiec. Proboscis, probiotic, whatever his name is. Who is he? Who is he? Well, he's an expert. With what? You know, he was Navy intel. What country? What are you talking about? What does that mean? And he comes out and he says, well, I'll tell you what I saw right now. The pictures were absolutely terrible. And I won't be able to sleep at night because I couldn't believe they were in such vivid detail. It was 4. No, it wasn't 4K. It was 8K. It was so incredibly. It was so incredible. I could. What video? Well, I saw it. At that particular time, simultaneously, concomitantly, 4 or 5 different news organizations, AP and the Dallas Morning Picayune said, no, I don't know what you're talking about. So then they showed us this stuff, and I swear pictures of Bigfoot. You know that thing where the big guy's walking around and go, what the hell? Oh no, Loch Ness Monster. Remember that? See, there's Nessie. What is it? It looks like that scene from Caddyshack, that thing floating around. What is it? They say, there it is. There's what? There's Tyler. Where? See him moving? I see something moving. Can you get a tighter shot? No. Wait a minute. We've got pictures of everything. This is it? Yeah. Well, what does he do? He goes up, and you know the whole business with Jimmy Dore. So I'm still waiting. Now, this is what I like to do. I love to tell the prosecutor, let's go to trial now. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, hi, my name is Lionel, and I represent Tyler Robinson. You know the gun they want you to believe was used? It's inconclusive. This is the famous lint brush. This is also inconclusive. There's no connection whatsoever. No DNA. Oh, by the way, they love the DNA. They got DNA all over it. They got DNA on the rag. They got DNA. And they got Lance's DNA. Lance, how come your DNA is on here? I don't know. And who are these 5 other people? And Lance is a little shady. We'll get to this later. By the way, Lance sure cleaned up, didn't he? 1 minute he's a furball or whatever he is, and now he looks like a guy with a bad suit, looking like he's taking his senior yearbook photo. It's horrible. Anyway. Doesn't he look like the 70s? All he needs is a big tie. So anyway, so you have this rifle that's not connected to anything. So the prosecution wants you to do, ladies and gentlemen, go back into the jury room and find them guilty. Of what? Of, no, I don't know. What? But the gun. You didn't fire it. Yeah, but it's not, it's inconclusive. So would be also if you had a bazooka. Let's say they found a bazooka, a shoulder-mounted IED, and a flintlock, and they're all lined up with the DNA on it. But they weren't shot. And this little thing, I'm sorry, that poor man, his wound, which, by the way, according to Rob O'Neill, which is great, this is an exit wound. Wait a minute. An exit wound? The guy in the front is shooting this way, and this is an exit wound? What is forget the magic bullet with Dallas. This is better. This comes at you, turns around, and what? Right there. Exit wound. Zamet says, Dr. Lionel has the cure for ignorance and stupidity, truth suppositories. Yes, available by brand. Thank you. You're excellent. So let's go back to this. You're the jury. You've just been impaneled. And you're saying, when does it get good? No, that's it. That's it. That's it. We can stipulate right now and go to trial. Let's go to trial. Come on right now. The gun. I don't think the gun should be allowed in. It should be suppressed, motion to suppress. It should be a motion in limine where you can't even talk about it. But if you want to bring it in, bring it in. Bring it in. So we have this gun. Here's a musket. Here's my lint brush. They have nothing to do with this either. I mean, if you want to introduce something that doesn't apply, let me do it too, even though I'm the defense, which makes no sense. So the jury's going to sit there and say, okay, now let's talk about the confessions. Because they all say this, well, he confessed. Funny thing about that confession, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, have you ever heard of somebody who turns himself into the cops and doesn't confess? Hello, Doc? Yes, Captain? Yes. My name is Percival Merriweather. I bet you George probably went to school with him, Percival Merriweather. And I'm going to turn myself in. For what? For the shooting of Tyler Robinson. Did you do it? Well, I'm not going to say I did it. I just want to turn myself in. Wait a minute. Turn yourself into what? A pumpkin? What do you turn yourself in? You want to be incarcerated? Yes, I want you to take me into custody. Book me and charge me, but I don't want to tell you what I did. I don't want to tell you. I'll tell the world on Discord. And by the way, check out whether old Flaky over here, not Flaky, that's Flake Neff. No, check out whether Junebug or Luna or Twiggy. See if Lancelot had access to that, where he could have done this, which might have explained how our friend Baron said, lo and behold, an hour after he's in and they take his phone, he's giving Discord confessions. And the best line from Rob O'Neill is the text messages he leaves were like somebody who thinks of English as a second language. Commas, commas. This guy's like this. He doesn't even speak. He's like I hate to say a lot of these Gen Zers, Alpha Betas, whatever they are. And he doesn't. Does this guy look like he's prosaic? He's like George Bernard Shaw. Oh, pretty, my love, I swoon for thee. Would that I were able to explicate before thee, dear Luna. I, your lovable miscreant, have snatched the life from. Who is this? Commas? And then he says, yes, listen, do me a favor. I left you a note. Yeah, I know we're on the phone. Yeah, I know. I know people are listening. Listen, I left you a note underneath the keyboard. Yeah, look for it. Okay, you got it? Read it? Okay, now burn it. Oh, destroying property. That's part of the immunity agreement. Good. Now, I'm going to... Okay. And the jury's saying, well, again, I hate to be... This is the jury, theoretically. Did he confess to this? Well, a lot of wells here. Not to the cops. And the reason why he went to his mother, his parents, I think the story was, hey, isn't that granddaddy's gun? Like somebody recognized the gun or recognized him, and somebody said, oh, is that you? Yeah, that's me. Well, how was it? See, one of the reasons why we don't like hearsay is because we don't know about the demeanor evidence. We don't know how it was said, under what circumstances. We don't know any of this stuff. We don't know how it was said. Did he say, for example, Tyler, was that you? Yeah. Versus, yes. Now, somebody writing the transcript would say yes, but you don't know how it was said. So again, we're saying, where is this confession? Here's the best part. Wait till Lance takes a stand. Oh, you mean to tell me that this guy who thought he was going to throw his life away, drive, I don't know how many hours. By the way, he drives steak dinners back and forth. There's a lot of eating. For a guy who did his first hit, he's very calm. He has a nice meal. An hour here, Dairy Queen here, over here. He's everywhere. I don't know about you, but most people kind of hide. They go to a safe house. Not our boy. He builds up an appetite, shimmying up, these, like was it Jimmy Dore says, Spider-Manning his way or whatever. Anyway, so you're going to ask Mr. Lancelot, listen, you're telling me that it's your testimony, right? That Tyler never talked about politics? No. He never was consumed. I'm going to get that Charlie Kirk. How dare he sully you and my love, you and your genetically and genitally confused, amorphous, crypto-gendered, whatever the hell you are. And what's with that hat? What are you? It's like, he's Dan Haggerty. He's Grizzly Adams. Like, what are you? What is this? You're a Canuck. Where are you going? Are you in the Iditarod? It's 80 degrees. What the hell are you wearing this thing for? You're nuts. I got news for you. It's not your genitals being screwed up. I think you're shinga, you're little stonat. Anyway, he never talked about it. This and here's again Robbie Starbuck. Bless his heart. He's a good man. And Viva, he's a good man. But all of a sudden they're saying, I don't know, what's the big deal? The police said he did. It's like, are you listening to any of this? Am I the only one? Maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. Vassy says, today at Escobar, she found that Tyler Robinson and Lance were Google, prior to September the 10th, and their address she found out Andrew Colvit's connection to Fort Banana also in Las Vegas. Listen, this is another thing too. Let me stop for 1 second. Let me put the trial. Remember I told you, there's 3 parts of this. There's the whodunit part, kind of the detective work, which I hope Candace and all of her compatriots will put together their version of like JFK, maybe get Oliver Stoner, my buddy Sean Stoner, somebody to produce this thing, because that documentary, like Loose Change with Dylan Avery, that needs to be put together for posterity. That's the story. The second is the trial. And then there's this other one too. Okay. I never saw this before. I don't know where this came from. Remember the first time Candace was going through everything about Lori Franz? Remember her? Where she grew up, every limited liability corporation, partnership, driver's license numbers, her CVS membership card. I mean, you know, when they say a little deep dive, this is stuff I've never seen. And we have the Egyptian flight, tail number 135, and we got this one who's tracking it. You got Barron, who doesn't sleep. I don't think Barron's real. I think Barron's gonna like pull down like this mask, and you're gonna see like gears. Like, he's like a machine. I mean, I thought it was like, I read an article. This deep dive, and then you've got others who are. So now you've got that using Google. Every time the name, Rosebud was used, and I keep asking, and this is my point. Okay, have you ever seen anybody from the other side? Anybody from the other side, whatever the other side is, ever put up anything other than Candace is evil and demonic? On our side, is here's the latest. Here's where, COVID said that it was, and Erika said she was with the kids, but she wasn't with the kids because Neff wasn't there, and Blake wasn't there, and he was there, and Colvette's father and Mikey. There's like so much. It's like, oh my God. Then we go to their side. Candace is demonic. That's all you've got? That's all we've got. Would you like to talk maybe about the case? No. Would you like to maybe bolster or accept or encourage the particular narrative that's being? No. Well, what's your point? Candace is the devil. Okay. I think I'm in a weird special school, like some weird cult school where people wear like Little House on the Prairie bandanas and they're in the woods. I go, well, who are these people? She's the devil. She is. Okay. And why is Candace demonic? Because she asks the wrong questions. She won't accept it. And I don't know about you. And again, I went back to this. Because all of a sudden, I thought for sure, I was so stupid. Remember the time, don't ever remind me of this. And don't ever tell Candace I said this. But I thought, wouldn't it be something if one day Candace reached out and neutralized her by saying, listen, my beef's not with you. You're not involved in this. Have a nice day. And she would be just crushed. Say, what do you mean I'm not involved in this? You didn't do it. You're not. And by the way, Candace has never said anybody's involved. Never. Never. Accusations, suspicions, that ain't the same. Zaman says, truth and humor will crush arrogance and lies every time. Yes, by the way, you're right. And humor, by the way, and thank you. Humor, which speaks to showing you the absurd. If I say something and you laugh, it's because what I'm saying, the underlying premise is absurd. It's not that I'm funny. It's what I'm telling you. It's absurd. The funny thing about this is that, they have these radio conventions and stuff. And one of the things they always have is the number one format for podcasting is true crime. Have you ever heard these two? There's like two girls. And then he came in and he was like, hey, there's like blood. I'm thinking, this is true crime. Well, listen, honey, this is true crime. And this is a real whodunit. You want a piece of this? They couldn't follow the moving parts. So it comes down to this. There's the weapon, and then there's the confession. Now, we don't know. And I was asking, where is Candace says, and if you don't know anything, go to tips@CandaceOwens.com or more tips at CandaceOwens.com because they're running out. The people who answered the tips emails, I think it was her sister one time, they last about a week because they lose their mind. There are 10 million tips. I can't go through this. Then we got more tips. Then we got even more tips because there's like 20 million. Do you ever hear anybody from the defense say, listen, if you know anything, my name is Nestor. I represent Tyler. I know there's a gag order and I don't want to talk about the case, but listen, here's our number. Remember when OJ put out that 800 number when he was trying to figure out who killed his wife? And he put it an 800 number and he had to shut it down because people kept calling up and saying, you. And he said, I'm not going to pay for this. Well, have you ever heard anybody? Remember this punctilious, supercilious, priggish little nitpicky constitutional arguments about whether the woman who was doing the ballistics was AFTI certified or what the? This is a preliminary hearing. Anyway, but you ever hear anybody from the defense? Now, I asked Candace one time and she never said it. Maybe I asked Barron too. They don't have to say anything, but you think somebody would say, listen, all of a sudden, Ms. Owens, farmer, yeah, listen, my name is Heathcliff Montague, and I am an investigator with the Tyler Robinson case. Is there anything that you came across, maybe through perhaps one of your vigilant viewers, or that might help us? Candace was saying, how much time do you have? Here, pick up the phone. Barron, get over here. And you say, where do you want me to start? And so there's some other people too. The Constitution. Oh, what's his name? Sam. Please, my head's going crazy. But you know what I'm talking about. There's so many people. Bring in Colin and bring in this one and bring in Ian, everybody. There's so many deep divers and analysts. And what do the other people say? Remember this. Candace is the demon. Okay, that's as far as it gets. And then you got Viva who says, do we really? Is it? Do you? What's the matter with you? I just don't know. Did we? I mean, what? They have no problem with saying, Putin this and Gaza this, and no problem with that. But this, they're like, they're like the junior league. I don't know what the hell that even means, but they're just like they're so scared. I can't say anything. And Barnes, who was at least he's not as bad, this one. And then Robbie Starbuck, oh my God. I got to stop. Please go to my ex, it's Twitter to me. And I gave this list of what you need to follow in order to be at Lionel Media. Okay. And one of the things is you have to use one of the provisions of this CIA directive. I can give you the number. And one of the things you do, and this is from, I can't believe it. This is from the Warren Commission. And remember the Warren Commission, they did this before even the Zapruder film, which came out in 75 during the Geraldo show, Good Night America, or whatever it was called, or that's when it came out, like 75, 76. I remember when I saw it for the first time. But initially they put out this directive because people were saying, this is nuts. This Warren Commission is garbage. So they said, number one, talk about how complicated this would be. Do you understand how many people would be involved? What did Robbie Starbuck say? Out of the script. Do you know how many people it would take to cover this up? Yes, a few. You never heard of compartmental? Do you know that every single time? Let me show you how good this is. Now, provided Robbie and Viva don't believe in the lone gunman theory regarding JFK, we still don't know. Nobody's been arrested. We don't even know about the Epstein files. We're still trying to figure out what happened in Vietnam. We don't know anything. Are you kidding me? Remember what Marshall McLuhan said. Little lies are hard to keep secret, but big lies are easy because of our incredulity. You don't want to think this. You don't want to think that there was some professional hit team or something. Anyway, so that's number one. So you actually said this. And then what you say is just accept the preliminary hearing. Are you kidding? Do I have to explain to them? Well, why would the prosecution play along with this? Oh my God. Where do you start? It's like when your kids say, Mommy, why would somebody want to take my bike? Because there are evil people. I don't know. I'm still trying to figure that one out. You're asking these, what were you in a coma? What are you, 3? You're asking these questions and he's playing everyone perfectly. Do you know how many people it would take to pull off something like this? Easy. Now, I A lot of stuff I told you before, and I've not told Candace this because I don't speak to Candace except through this because she's busy. believe me, believe me. Have you ever waited for her show to start? That's the show. It's like going to a concert. I kind of wish I'd have seen the Guess Who before we get to there last time, but at least like at the Stones concert, they'll be in the parking lot listening to the Stones music. I'm saying, can you turn that off? We're going to be, anyway, before Candace's show starts, the buildup is almost, but not even close, but as interesting as the show itself. People talking because there's just this. Let me tell you something. I've never seen anything like this before. I've never seen anything like. I've never seen anything like this. And what I was going to tell you about her was, I would say, why didn't anybody even get to do Tyler? Listen, if I was whoever the bad guy was, I call it the shadow government. And I always put brackets as the SG, the shadow government. They are a special group. They are it's kind of like a catch-all for whoever is responsible for all the dirt. Because I don't think it's clearly Israel, CIA, Mossad, France. It doesn't work like that. Just kind of make amalgam. It's like electron clouds, where we have the probability of where we'll find. It's this group of people. That's this like Fed slop. It's this Intel slop. This is whatever. And somebody's responsible. But the first thing I would tell them is, why do we need Tyler Robinson? Just have the gun, because whatever this thing was, it was timed perfectly. The snap that I heard was timed perfectly, at least as I recall, with whatever this exit wound was. But just have that. Eliminate this Jadrul. Who is he? Get rid of him. Which is what they wanted to do. Remember, there were two versions of his story. One was, I'm not going to spend the rest of my life in prison. I can't do it. The other one was, I was thinking it over, and as I say, I'm turning myself in. It's almost like, who let him through? Because that's like the way they normally do it, like they did in Butler. Here comes a shooter, and all of a sudden, hey, sharpshooter, where the hell were you before? You got this guy, but you should have been around when he was climbing up. Anyway, different story. Lee Harvey Oswald, got him. So answer him. That has all the trappings, by the way, of MK Ultra. Absolutely. What? Where am I? That one? Yeah, you killed him. I killed who? Bobby Kennedy. Why? You're asking me? Because you're Jordanian. What the hell does that have to do with anything? Because you hate Bobby Kennedy. We do? Remember that one? Oh. But I don't want to complicate this. But this is where we are right now. So here comes Candace, and she just says, this is my friend. Oh. And let me tell you something right now. And I've said this before, and I only speak for myself. I never, ever, ever thought that any of these idiots, these numbskulls, these iconas, these dimwits, these Boeotians, these stupicies that comprise TPUSA, and they all seem to be blonde hair, like young, very, I don't want to say like catamites, but they look like they're part of like castrati from some, you know what I mean? I don't know. Did you ever see some hot little number from some chickie? They get fired right away. Oh, I heard you said to an Uber driver, what? Anyway, I don't want to get too deep in the woods. What's her name? Aubrey or whatever. Do you ever see anybody at the top level of TPUSA? They always look like their little, I guess you have little sailor outfits. My name is Lance. Uh-huh. Okay. All right. Well, that explains a lot there, Blakey. Just saying. Interesting in a case with a leader, Charlie, who was pretty adamant about, heterosexual is good. And anyway, but that's for others to decide. So here comes Erika. I didn't know anything about her. I told you two things. This is one, this is two. Two things. Number one was when she was mic'd up for that casket. That was it. And I said, and I'm no, technical person here, as you can see. I said, she mic'd herself up because she says, I'm so sorry, Charlie. I'm not trying to mock that, but it was like 1, 2, 3, check. The camera's over here. Exit. Cut. How'd you get that? Do it again. Less breathing. Okay. All right, people. Come on. Quiet the set. Ready? Roll them in. Action. I love you. How's that? Good? I hate to be that brutal, but it was performative. It was kabuki-like. It was choreographed. I didn't buy a word of it. First of all, if that were my wife, I'd say, get that camera out of here. You're fired. You're taking a picture of this? What? I don't even want any of you people in here. What is this? That's number one. Then came, I don't know what's worse. Hi, guys. Remember that? Hey. Find the long faces. She doing like a Charlie Callis or something. Hey, merch sales is up. It's like Glengarry Glen Ross. Coffee's for closers. Come on, let's go, go, go. Come on, stop the crying. He's dead. What are you going to do? Okay, stop. Let's go. No, listen. All right, I went up, up, up. Come on, you folks. I know you're working 20 days a week, but you know, it's something big here because baby needs a new pair of shoes. And by the way, remember that? We know the baby. Who's the other child's name? There's Gigi and if I said, Erika, what's your kid's name? I'll get back with you on that. I hope the kid's okay. I worry about the kids and I worry about Charlie's parents. You see when Charlie was walking into the Charlie's parents was walking in, and who's that? Stacy, what's her name? Who's her name? The one who tried to grab his arm. He goes, "Catch your hand off me. Who are you?" She like came out of nowhere. She was like a Jack Ruby. Remember, did you ever watch that where here comes Lee Harvey Oswald, and there was Jack Ruby. All of us like, where did he come from? What is her name? Stacy Sheridan or Stacy, sounds like somebody from the New Housewives. Remember that one? She just came up and he just, Stacy Sheridan, yeah. Connie's rolling on the floor. I love this because it's just absurd. Connie, it's absurd. This is what happened. Lionel, you are brilliant, entertaining, and tonight you are especially on fire. Thank you. Well, we have a special guest. She's probably not here right now because she's busy. What this poor woman goes through. And then there's Candace Owens. Oh, I hope she's not here. Well, I shouldn't say that. But this is what I get all the time. Are you talking about Candace again? Now, I don't know about you. Seriously. Well, I said, do you think this is about Candace? I'm just serious. Do you think that JFK was about Dorothy Kilgallen? Do you think that JFK was about Mark Lane? Do you think it was about Oliver Stone? No. Strata says the worst was when she said, the young man looks up, looks down. Oh, I forgive you. Oh. Listen, I'm not gonna do the to go through the acting about this, but there are tells, and there's things you can also do where you can how do I say this? You can have these let me tell you the thing about it. A little back up here, a little background. You know what really got me about the crying the most? She never blew her nose. You know, when you're really crying, you know how sometimes you got to blow your nose and it's like, it's so sad. And it's, you're crying. It's like, and then my dog got hit by a car. Can I have a tissue? Yeah. And then my dog, I went on. And you always hear that. And you're not laughing. It's not funny. But your nose, because the lacrimation, you know, the tear ducts and everything it's connected. Lacrima, you sneeze. And your nose gets all snotty and it just, this is what happens. But she does one of these. It's always this. They never really, not even this. You don't get the, I know you might say, do this. Just go watch somebody cry. Watch somebody crying who gets into an accident. It's a different story. There's also something I told you during the Hillside Strangler, Bianchi and Bono, when Bianchi was talking, he was supposedly in hypnosis at the time, and he reached out and he grabbed something, and somebody said, "Up, can't do that." Up, He's faking it. He goes, what? He goes, you don't do that. In hypnosis, you don't grab things. You don't see. For whatever it's worth, that was a tell. And that was it. By the way, I'm not talking about wiping your nose like this. I mean when you're crying. Anybody here ever cried? Last time I checked, it's rather mucosal. It's the most incredible thing in the world. I mean, but that aside, do you remember? This is whatever happened to the one who says, I'm getting married? With the guy, the fiddle player, Lance. Remember, not Lance. What was his name? Lance. Remember that story? Remember when Dana Lash? See, this is the part when Candace was throwing the widow. And if you want to say, Dana, yeah, what did you just do? What did you just do? You're a meme. What? You can't go out there and you yell the widow. It sounds like a WWE wrestler or something. And now, the Undertaker, widow. And Candace was laughing about it. We all knew it. And I'll bet you Dana Lash said, what are you talking about? They don't realize this. I don't know. This guy, Tourette syndrome. What's his name? Tourette syndrome. Remember that guy? They have to go on TV and keep talking. They forget learn your story first. So I jumped on him and I performed CPR. No, I didn't. No. It was, no, that's not it. It was a Heimlich. Yeah, that's it. It was a Heimlich. But you said on Sean Ryan, you said CPR. Oh. Well, whatever. So anyway, I did the Heimlich and then I did CPR and then I did hyperbaric, and then I put him into a rear naked choke. What? The stories were like, do you not know what the story is? No, because I've never rehearsed them, because nobody's ever listened to me. Did you see McCoy? Who was it? Did you see McCoy's? You know these people better than I do. Was it McCoy's father who said, and soon Erika won't be with us, or something? Is like, wait a minute. What's going on here? Every time somebody opens up their mouth, you think to yourself, whatever it is. You love this lint brush, don't you? This is going to be my, who was it? Jimmy, what's his name? The famous manager, Jimmy, whatever. He had the tennis racket. This is going to be my thing, the lint brush. This is symbolic. We're going to have like lint brushes in the courtroom. Instead of, a lighter, which would be a problem, it's a lint brush. This is like some weird Cherokee Indian thing, which people will find offensive for no particular reason. It's just incredible. All of this stuff, every single person. Let me ask you something. Name one person. Oh, Candace is in? Okay, good. Candace, bless her heart. Candace, you don't have to say anything. Oh, wait, Robbo went back on Newsmax, doubled down. Oh, good. Oh, yeah, and by the way, that Chris Ruddy's thinking, what the hell am I doing? Good for Chris. Oh, man. But anyway, here's my question. If I said to you, who is the best on our side for stats, for trial work, for assassination, crime scene analysis, for whatever? Candace, of course, is first, but I think we have so many people on our team that are very talented in certain divisions. Okay, you're going to be opening, you're going to be closing, like in a trial. You're going to do cross-examination. You're going to do direct. You're going to do whatever. You'll do voir dire. We've got so many people. So many people. Guess number one. Tell me, who is the best on the other side? Tell me. Who is the one that says, yeah, well, you know what, though? I know Blake the Flake's full of it. COVID's full of it. This one's full of it. But who is that person? Anybody? Ben Shapiro. Lay off the drugs, man. Put the pipe down. Ben Shapiro could tell me my name and I wouldn't believe it. He couldn't lure me out of a burning building. He's just no persuasive anything. But anyway, remember when he was on with, what was her name? Not Turek, but it was that guy, Katie. It was the father of the woman on NBC who said, who was a woman, and he said, "I'm gonna break your back," or I'm gonna, remember when he leaned over? Remember, go back and watch this. Ben, this guy is like, he was a Navy pilot. He's the father of the woman. I think she dated Oberman. Anyway, I forget her name, but she said, "This is so." he said, because Ben was like yammering, and this guy leans over with a wig and says, you can hear him, I'm gonna break your back, or I'm gonna do something. And I, at first, because I didn't know Ben, I thought, oh, come on, man, that's not fair. Now I'm pulling for the guy with the dress. I want to see some, wouldn't you love it? All of a sudden, I don't want violence, please. I'm kidding. All right? This is the only violence I'm thinking about using. But who from the other side? Nobody. Katie Tur, was that her name? Katie Tur's father. Katie Tur, father. Shapiro, remember that one? Katie Tur. Yep. Katie Tur's father is the famous helicopter journalist and transgender advocate Zoe Tur. In July 2015, Zoe made national headlines during a panel on CNN's Headline when conservative commentator Ben Shapiro repeatedly referred to Zoe as Sir. In response, Zoe grabbed Shapiro by the neck and warned him that he'd go home in an ambulance, prompting Shapiro to file a police report. Oh, come on. I didn't know about that. Can you believe that? You're going to go home in an ambulance. Let me tell you something. All of a sudden, anyway. Nobody, Nobody? Gary Melton? How about this poor guy? Technical. Now, you know what I want to do? Now, don't tell them. They probably don't watch this. But I want to see, maybe Candace, I'm going to tell you ahead of time. I want to go on and I want to have I want to go on and I'm going to do, here we go. I'm going to do this. I'm going to get one of these. And I'm going to go on there and I'm going to tell you one thing here. I was in SEAL Team 5. And I know what I'm talking about. And everything that prosecution is saying makes complete and total sense to me. Everything. Don't you understand that? This man, that's because of 30-06, I've seen him before, and I know about ballistic gel too. And it makes complete and total sense that this guy jumped on top of that there thing and took his screwdriver, got one of them right here, put a screwdriver into a gun that's pertinent 100 years old, took the scope off, do it all the time, put the scope back on. And I know what I'm talking about because I got rifles back here. I've killed stuff. I've killed people. Better watch it. You don't forget, it's like riding a bike. And there is nothing at all wrong with what that man did. He's a youngin', climb that wall and take that thing down. Hell, I could do it right now. Don't ask me to do it because my arthritis is acting up. But still, when I was younger, I could do it. I could take that thing apart, put it back together, slide on down, do a perfect shot. And don't give me the nonsense about it. What was it again? What did you say? What O'Neill say? No way. It was not an exit wound. It was an entrance wound. Something like that. Hell, I don't know. I know exactly what's going on here because I'm an expert. And you can watch my podcast. I'm called Patriot, not tactical, Patriot Testicle. That's what I'm doing because it takes balls to do my show. Patriot Testicle. That's my name. It's on my show. And I know what I'm talking about. And let me tell you something. Of course he didn't know. Of course he didn't go. He didn't know where the gun was. Sometimes you don't know how. You know these dogs. Sometimes them dogs. Them dogs sometimes can sniff. You know what they do. Sometimes they sniff each other's. Their behinds. You know that? Did you know that? Them dogs is stuff. Let me tell you something. If you got your nose buried in a bunch of dogs' behinds, it's easy to miss a rifle. I'll guarantee you. Here, you do it. You go home. You go home, you stick your nose in your dog's behind, and then you try to find a rifle. Go ahead. I've done it. It's tough. That dog don't hunt. By the way, you notice how sometimes this may sound weird. Do you know why? Do you know why dogs lick themselves down there? Do you know why? Not because they can't make a little fist with their paw. Did you know that? Did you know that? I was walking one time with Gary the other day. I said, because I'm Patriot testicle and he's whatever he is. And these two dogs, a dog was licking himself. And Gary said, "Boy, I wish I could do that." I said, "Well, you better pet him first. It looks mean." You see, that's the problem. See, we all know this. We served our country. I don't have my tats ready yet. Steve Bolin says they all need help cleaning up their squirrel tails. Let me tell you something right now. I want you to understand exactly what's going on here. You need a person that knows what they're talking about, and I'm the guy. And I call that there Candace Owens. She's a demon. That's right, buddy. Who the hell? Got to get this thing on down here. I love you. I'm going to take you down. There you go. She's a demon. She's a demon. She's a demon incarnate. She is Mephistopheles. She is Satan. She is Beelzebub. She is Lucifer. When she comes on with that stuff, I swear to God, I feel that I can just see it I can just see it. Because, you know, she's a Catholic now. You know what them Catholics are. You know the Jesuits are, don't you? Mm-hmm. You know all about them, right? Ignatius Loyola. Ad maiorem Dei gloriam, quousque tanam abutare Catalina patientia nostra. Catalina races, baby. That's right. I got that tattooed on my back. Did you know that? I'm not going to show you because it's none of your damn business. Because I'm a killer. I've killed things before. Granted, I don't know where or when, but I've got PDST, which is different. Which is different than PTSD. Mine's even worse. I don't even want to tell you what it is. It's top secret what I got. That's right. I'm screwed up and it's top secret. I'm on 100% disability. I am. I can't tell you where I was or what branch I was in or what, but I know I was there. And I know one thing. That Candace Owens is evil. She is an evil woman. She is absolutely, she's demonic. She's filled with hate. Filled with hate. Never has any facts. Oh, don't give me that business. She hems and haws about it. She don't know nothing. You know who knows it? You know who knows it? You know who knows it? That there Beaver, Las Vegas. That boy knows a lot of stuff. He's damn good. Got a lot of good people out there. Ben Shapiro, and you got your Melton tactic, whatever his name is. He's damn good too. Oh, they're real good. And Turlock or Tarek or hell, Blake the Flake. You got more damn people here, and they're all good. Each of them are good. I don't know what Candace, you know, she keeps talking about things like they don't know what they're talking about. Say, excuse me. They're experts in this whole thing. And do me a favor. Would you leave Erika alone? Okay? I don't want to go all Dana Lash on you, okay? But leave her alone. She's just minding her own business. And just because she, you know, might be inappropriate, but there's no way, many ways to grieve. You understand this? I'm tired about this. It's tough doing what I'm doing. But granted, I'll tell you what, that guy, you know who scares me is I got Baron Coleman. Guy's on for 6 hours a day. And I said, does he repeat anything? No. Why the hell does he do that? Does he know what he's talking about? I know you're going to say he does, and I don't. Well, let me tell you something. I know what I'm talking about. And the first thing you got to do is make sure you stay away from that there Candace Owens. She's a demon. I got to take this hat off. It's hurting me. I'm getting a. You have to have the hat. You have to have the hat, and you got to have the tats, and you got to have all that stuff. And I wouldn't be with it. Okay. I'm losing my mind. Aren't you? Have you ever thought to yourself, this is the funniest stuff. Please don't let this go away. Please. It makes complete and total sense. Absolutely. I would love, do me a favor. Help me get on. Let me slip through a show. I just want to tell them, listen, I know what's going on, and I'm going to say, I used to work for Candace, but I've got to wear a mask. Okay? I've got to wear a mask. I can't show my face. All right. And then I'll do it, and I'll go into that routine, and you'll know exactly who it is right away. Strata says, why did Franz just hire one of Epstein's fixer lawyers? Jeffrey Adam Neiman, the guy who gets deals for white-collar criminals, mega offshore tax evasion. I don't know about that. And by the way, Is she okay? Is Lori Fran? Is she okay? Is she? I don't even know. Remember when she was? They showed a picture of her. Apparently, she looked very ill. I don't wish. Listen, let me tell you something right now. I don't wish anybody harm. I've never heard Candace ever wish anybody harm ever. I've never even said ever heard her even suggest that anybody specifically was directly involved. You can be involved in different things. We do have these crimes called accessory after the fact, but nobody's ever said this. And believe it or not, one of the real reasons is because people know that if you were part of a hit team, would you let Erika know anything? You don't want her to know anything. You want plausible deniability. She's not. No. Blake? Who looks at Blake and says, I want that guy on my team? No. It's just. So there we are. So tomorrow, 9:00, we're going to have a. Oh, by the way, I could do that on the air. You can say, let me tell you something. I was out in the jungle. You probably don't know this, but I served our country. I was in a branch, and you wonder why I'm doing that. Well, let me tell you why I'm doing that. See, for years, I had to figure out ways to signal to my friends, my compatriots, my fellow warriors, that something was happening. And if I did a hand signal, you know how they did this and all that stuff, them enemy, they'd have, binoculars, they see me do it. And they say, the guy's giving hand signals. But if I learn how to make sounds through various orifices in my body by consuming certain foods, heavy beans and sauerkraut, I could at any time I wanted signal to my men what we were doing. And I unfortunately did this for so long, serving our country, that I am now without the ability to stop. And that's why I got 100% disability, because I can't stop this. And it's tough. It is tough like you can't believe. Can't get intimate. I want to go into scuba diving. Can't wear a suit. I'll blow up. Want to be an astronaut. Couldn't do it. Moments of intimacy. No. It's tough. I wanted to be a center. Think about that. You know what centers do? You bend over, but that can't, no. How long would it take them, do you think, to realize, I don't think this guy's legit. I think somebody, who sent him? I'll tell you who sent me. The demon. Candace is a demon. She sent me. And I'll tell you one thing. I'm going to haunt you. I'm going to walk through your house at night with chains. Anyway, my friends, what a night. Oh, God. An hour and 28 minutes. Not 3 hours, but. So on behalf, Candace, wherever you are, keep up the work. We're with you 100% on this very serious note. And I'm not saying this. I'm going to say everything I'm saying is what I've said before. She is loved. I'm not going to go through the rest of the people. Sometimes people, again, I don't want to go through it. Joe Rogan, good guy, very popular. Is not loved. I mean, this is a love. I'm being redundant. I'm also going to say something which I hope nobody takes offense at, but it's true. Women on talk radio and news platforms do not necessarily make up the bulk. I don't know what the demographics are, but her women demographics must be female through the roof. And don't take this the wrong way, but women don't necessarily like women necessarily because they're smarter than men and they kind of know, you know what I mean? We've talked about this before because most women the greatest betrayal they've ever felt in their life has been from other women. But this is the most incredible thing in the world. The women, men, like as much as you can possibly do it. The love is beyond anything I've ever seen. They need you in Damascus. Saul, yes. As I'm riding on my mule or whatever it is. Uh, this is the most incredible thing in the world. And what's also funny, in regular TV worlds, regular conventional media, women for the most part are relegated to. They don't really have the big shows. They're on a couch, they're, say, Pia Magazine. The biggest woman in news in any platform today is Candace. And whatever you want to call her, black, woman, conservative, I don't even think it matters. I think people have something to say. Because somebody said, is Candace conservative? Yeah, I guess. Yeah. We don't even know. I'm not trying to be evasive here. This confounds everything. She couldn't exist. And it's funny about this, and she will tell you this, and I know she will think this. I know she will think this for absolute the truth. Sometimes in life, when think about this tonight, when you go to bed or whatever, think how many disappointments in your life, maybe relationships, maybe jobs, maybe something that happened to you and you thought, oh, that was this disappointment. And you think, no, your life is saved because of that. The best thing that ever happened. Can you imagine if she had been stuck at Daily Wire? What the hell is that? It's like Shinola. It's like the AIDS candy. I told you there was a candy called AIDS, AIDS. Not exactly a good name. Daily Wire. What? That's like not Life magazine, Look magazine. It's over. It's done. The best thing that ever happened. She never knew the trajectory. She was doing great. All of a sudden, the Brigitte Macron said, hey, this is something. And then this. And I want to leave you with this. And I want Candace to remember this. And I want you to think about this. 2 quotes. Number 1 is my favorite. Cam Fong is Chin Ho from Hawaii Five-0. We're all in this together, brother. All of us. Okay? But the other one is from, you know what I'm going to say, Jack Reacher. I don't know if Candace has seen this, but Jack Reacher. This is where Tom Cruise is playing Jack Reacher, the first one. Not that goof with the steroids, but it was much better. And Tom Cruise plays this military killer, and anyway, he's having a beer, and somebody wants to fight him. 5 guys want to fight him. He said, okay, I'll go outside. And he's about to paralyze this guy. In fact, he kicks him in the inguinal area and basically crushes his testicles, and the guy's going to be paralyzed for the rest of his life. And right before he does this, Tom Cruise, Jack Reacher, leans over to this guy and says, remember, you wanted this. So when people take on Candace, whether it's Laura Loomer, whether it's whatever it is, remember, you wanted this. You wanted this. You think, I'm going to take care of her. I'm going to neutralize her. Really? I'm going to show her. Okay. Remember, she didn't come after you. You want a piece of her. Okay. It's like Mike Tyson. You sure about that? Yeah, okay. You know who he is, right? Okay. And we've seen this before. They come upon and anybody see that Dana Lash? Yeah. How about poor Meghan Kelly? She doesn't even know what the hell she's trying to do. She's trying to figure something out. Gematria Wombat says, can't put people in a box, paint them in. Absolutely. But what I'm telling you is I've been doing this for a long time. Remember, 38 years is my first time on an actual radio show. There were no women ever. Never. And you have right now the biggest thing ever is Candace Owens. Period. Like I say, listen, they love Joe Rogan. Tucker, the man. But how do I say this? Candace is like Hirohito. Remember, all the Japanese wanted after look, you bombed us twice. Don't hurt him. We love him. He's holy. I know it's a terrible analogy, but it's like it's there's nobody like this. There's been nobody. Rush, Howard Stern, nobody. This is if Candace ever says, storm the Bastille, I want everybody to, if she ever got behind a candidate, she probably shouldn't. But if she says, I want everybody to move to Louisiana and vote for, so people would move to Louisiana and vote for this guy. She has a lot of power. She can tell people something in it. Can you imagine if she ever did a personal appearance? Can you believe this? Oh, Nick Fuentes. Oh, poor Nick. You know, I love when Candace had on, and he had on Biden. When he decided to have old Hunter on, she did, brother. I thought that was just, I loved it. I just loved it because it drove people crazy. And I'm with her. When she had on Anna Kasparian a couple of years ago. I'm sorry. Anna Kasparian, I thought, this woman's crazy. She's not crazy, but, and poor Jank, I called him junk yogurt. These people were they were so left. Now they make complete and total sense. Left is not, there's no left and right anymore. We're like this. Hi, how are you? We're like the Americans and the Soviets during World War II were dancing and doing vodka. There's no more. We have new enemies. We have new people to battle. And these people are elsewhere. And it's a different story. It's a completely different story. And anyway, that's enough. I've said enough. Thank you, my friends. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your effort. Thank you, Ms. Owens. Thank you for being a part of us. And thank you for allowing us the opportunity to be a part of your world. And thank you for showing us so much fun. Please follow me here at Lionel Nation. Make sure you are always subscribed. Make sure also that you hit that little bell so you're notified of live streams and new videos. Make sure also you like this video. And make sure, very, very important, make sure that we keep doing this together. Let's do this. Support Candace, but let's have fun. Because let me tell you something. We're right. We're not like, well, maybe. No. We're right. And why these people are acting like this, I have no idea. And it's not about Tyler. Excuse me. It's about finding justice for Charlie. I want to find out who did this. He didn't deserve that. Okay? And we're gonna fight until the very end. You got that? All right. Because we're all in this together, brother. All right, my friends. See you tomorrow. Don't forget, until then, remember, the monkey's dead. The show's over. Sue ya. Da-da.